Chris Savannah with American Outdoor News. Today I'm here with Rob and Cush from Apex. Guys, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate you guys. Tell me a little bit about Apex.
Yeah, so Apex Mountain, we're a creative media agency. We've technically, Apex Mountain was, brought up about in September of last year, right? Right, Rob?
Yep,
September of
yep.
last year, we started documenting in the space. But we're a creative media agency. Our goal is to bridge the gap between the urban and the outdoor markets. We're from South Florida. We don't get to walk outside and see mountains and really cool trails on the side of a mountain range. So, even though we are part of the flatlands and we see big lizards like gators and iguanas, and I guess we can technically hunt deer down here and hog and turkeys. It's in the city. It's not a common theme, right? So when we propped up Apex Mountain, we were like, hey, let's do it intentionally. Let's get guys from the city, people from the city, out into the outdoors exploring.
How did you get into the outdoors?
So actually, Rob and I, we both have funny stories as far as how he has a little bit more experience in the outdoors. My dad was actually born and raised in the Amazon jungle, but when he moved here, he was, working, but he always let me and my brother, prior to my parents' separation, he let us run in the forest, catch snakes, lizards, anything. But then, when they divorced, we moved to the city and we pretty much just found our way in the city. And it wasn't until, I don't know, 2 years ago when I'm a marketing professional. I got hired on to rebrand and lead the partner marketing efforts for an ammunition company, that I got the zest back in my life. I was like, oh, wow, this is an entire space that exists for people who love the outdoors, people who love guns and the Second Amendment. And Rob and I, we actually had physical square footage. We owned another business. And well, Rob, I'll let you speak there because I've been the one taking up all the airtime.
No, it's cool. Yeah, Chris and I spoke a little about this. I don't know, you can see the audio gear in the background. Yeah, so we had a recording studio in West Palm Beach that we built. We opened in 2017. We had a lot of really clientele from all over the world. We did, genres from everywhere: Afrobeat, R&B, hip hop, even some country music in there. And we're really well respected in the industry, and we're proud of that. And we had a lot of things. We fought against the pandemic like a lot of businesses did. We had to learn how to pivot there. And like you said, I think just hearing Cush talk about some of the things that he was experiencing as he was working at this company doing marketing and branding for outdoor stuff, it kind of re-sparked that, because my dad's from Tennessee. He grew up hunting, fishing. He was that guy, always had us out somewhere in a deer stand or, hunting turkeys. And I was very involved in that as a kid, but, I was a teenager and found the mall and arcades and girls. And, I was like, I don't want to sit in the deer stand for 5 hours anymore, Dad, but I love you. So it kind of reintroduced all that to us, and, his excitement got me excited, and I said, we weren't really sure what we were going to do with the studio. We ended up closing our doors there and jumping feet first into the outdoor space, taking what we did there from the audio production, media stuff into, the outdoor space.
Yeah.
And it's been amazing. Yeah, it's been amazing, man. I have to say, one of the best communities of people, top to bottom in the outdoor 2A space. Genuine, authentic, people like yourself. We hit it off immediately in South Carolina at the POMA event, and here we are, and that's just how it seemed to work for us. So it's been amazing.
Yeah. It is a welcoming community. It's a business like anything else.
Sure.
But, it is people all willing to help and spread the word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amen. So that's that's our story. Like you said, we it's amazing how the dots have connected and one thing's led to the next for us. Because I'm very it's our dynamic is very cool in this space. Cush is the brain and the marketing and the branding and the driver sometimes, and I play off of that. So it's cool that we've found this niche and this flow.
Yep.
You know, because we don't know. You know, we had a business, we had guaranteed clients. You know, we had money every month we closed that, you know, and jumped into so we really didn't know what to expect. And
if I can jump in here, I want to say that we didn't close our business because we were struggling or anything like that. The reason we actually closed our business is COVID almost took Breezy out. He still has his trach star, and it's actually, there's a short documentary in the works for that. But we had a massive faith calling, you know, and that year that was transitional for us and pivotal. We both found the Lord, and then we've seen just under 400 clients in the 7 years that we were open. And the music and the level of work that we were doing was no longer resonating with who we were as people and our purpose. And so when we closed our doors, it was tough. We had a team of 10 employees. We told them, hey, you know, God is moving us to the outdoors, because say what you want, you know, like we love the Second Amendment. We're all pro 2A. When you get to go to some of these range days, some of them are nestled in the mountains, some of them are on big farms. There's a level of like power that you feel from the outdoors, like literally, like, man, it feels like God country, you know. And it's
Yep.
That's the reason why it was easy to make the decision, but difficult to transition, because letting go a team of 10 and then closing our doors, and you know, here we have our own setups in our respective spaces, but yeah, our faith was the deciding factor there, you know. So
yeah, the driving factor for sure. Yeah.
Well, COVID was an eye opener for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It did change a lot of the way we do business. You don't need the big office spaces anymore. They found that the remote works just fine. And we did find a lot of people moving more into the outdoors during COVID, just to get out of the house, just to breathe and feel free again. And, you know, it was confining, and now it's coming out that it was all bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people felt trapped for sure. Yeah, that was what a strange time in human history, right?
I got to say that I never complied with it. I never stayed home. I came to my office every day. I did what I needed to do. I went grocery shopping. I went out. Granted, you know, we weren't hanging out with friends because, you know, the way things were. But, you know, I just felt like my freedom was being pulled out from under me. And I was kicking and screaming. I'm like, no way, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I had COVID twice. You obviously had it. We're still here, you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank God. Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
And us as business owners, you know, thankfully we're in Florida, so DeSantis was a little more lenient. You know, he said you guys can remain open under these provisions, and you know, we found all the provisions that would allow us to have our team there if they wanted to be there. You know, we understand, you know, you're the driver of your business. At the end of the day, it all lands squarely on your shoulders. So if our employees were like, concerned with health, because there was one of them who had some serious issues, we're not going to make them come in. You know, we were like, so Rob and I, we stepped away from the helm to actually work in the business. And that's, you know, thank God for the ability to be able to do that and pivot as well.
We made it through. You know, that all is in our rearview mirror. And here we are again. Things are kind of back to normal, whatever normal could be.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. I think I felt that. I don't know where I was at, you know, because things were they just felt funny you know, people wearing masks and, you know, it just didn't feel normal, you know. And I think about a month ago, I was standing somewhere and just not even consciously looked around, and it felt like you know, there wasn't really any signs of the pandemic anymore. You know, none of the stand 6 feet apart and someone behind the plexiglass and, you know, looked like it did in 2019. So,
yeah. Every once in a while, you'll be driving along and you look over next to you and you see some idiot driving in the car alone wearing a mask.
I was probably that guy a couple times because I was doing Uber for a while. So I would see people at the light like, what is this dude doing? But I literally was about to pick someone up in the truck, so I'm like, I'm gonna just keep this thing on.
You know, funny enough, when I was the partner marketing manager for the ammunition company, I was actually on a flight leaving San Diego when it came over. The pilot comes over and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, the federal government has said we're now allowed to travel without our masks." The airplane erupted into because you know there's a for every, I don't know, every one of us who doesn't like to wear masks, there's like 10 people who do. So it was like we were walking on. It was the email specialist and myself walking onto the plane, and I was like, man, look at all these masks. Cause I was like that myself. I didn't like wearing masks. I didn't wear masks unless like it was absolutely required. And I'm not, you know, I've never really been one to be like, oh man, I can't function without a mask. Cause I still see people till this day at the grocery store with a mask on, and I'm like,
it don't do anything.
Yeah, no.
It didn't prevent anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
I think that was the unfortunate part of all this, especially because it affected me so much, and I was hospitalized for over 2 months on a ventilator. You know, my body was basically. I'm not. You know, the doctor said I'm not making it out at one point.
Yeah.
That was the conversation. I coded a few times. They brought me back, you know, whatever. Like I said, divine intervention, you know, is, you know, God had another plan for my life. So, but yeah, it's unfortunate as to, you know, because it affected me so much. And I know people that it affected to then find out like just so many things that were done wrong and all these protocols and all these things that were just, you know, it's just, I was almost for me, like, you know, like it added insult to injury on the end for me. So,
well, to me, I felt like it was a test run to see how fast people were willing to give up their freedom, and fall into line like a bunch of sheep, and get the injections. They had promotions up here.
Who was it? Was that New York where the guy's like, you got a free burger and fries? Who was it?
Yeah.
Like, so you're telling me I get the burger
fry with a vaccine
and I get
hell
the
out
fries?
of here.
Well,
yeah,
Chris,
that's when it was like,
I don't know. Here in South Florida, so we're entering hurricane season. You talk about pandemonium. COVID was obviously on a global scale, but I think locally, when, you know, there's a lot of snowbirds here in South Florida, and when they hear a hurricane, you walk into the grocery store, it looks like you're in a third world. There's
not a bottle of water,
nor water, no. So though COVID had very similar effects on a massive scale, to see it on a micro scale, it's still like, relax, people, it's a hurricane. Just hunker down. That's it. You know? The
difference is you walk into a grocery store before a hurricane and all the water's gone. All the food is gone. During pandemic, there's no toilet paper.
No toilet paper.
Plenty of food, plenty of water, no toilet paper.
No toilet paper, yeah.
Oh,
and if you're anything like me, I stock up. I got a Costco membership, and you know, I have 3 children, my wife, so I don't like going supply shopping every week. So I'll just get the big rolls, get 2 or 3 of them, and then just stockpile them. So, and they're cool. There's people like that in our space. Yeah, there's preppers in our space. That's what's cool about the 2A community. You have like the tactical side, the home defense, and then the preppers. And I have we work with influencers, and one of our influencers, he has a massive channel on YouTube, and he has a segment where he'll invite preppers to come on and how they prep for, you know, the end times. It's incredible to see. Like, these people are teaching themselves farming, how to filter water, how to what is it, dry freeze food and store food.
Yeah.
And
Be
I think
self-sustaining, essentially. Yeah.
there was one of our friends from that channel. He had, I want to say it was like chicken that he had prepped, sealed, and it had the date on it. It was 5 years old, and because so many people didn't believe that he would eat it on camera, he actually popped it open, ate it, and he was like, "Man, it tastes as fresh as the day I made it." And everybody was like, "Oh!" But that's what's cool about this community. It's you have the tactical, you have home defense, you have end time preparations, you have preppers, you have women now. Like I think that's what's really cool about this industry now. It's becoming more inclusive of like the women because COVID, it did, you know, women wanted, people as a whole were going outside to walk, run, exercise, and it exposed a lot of like weaknesses in the social structure of defense.
Yep.
If you call the cops, you know, you have some of these other political parties are saying, oh, you know, cops. Well, if you call the cops and you can't access them, what are you going to do to defend yourself? Oh.
Well, that's why you have like Sheriff Ivy and the law enforcement in Florida. Hey, somebody breaks into your house, shoot them.
That's it.
But you know,
they encourage it. Yeah.
Yes, Florida.
Up here, we don't have that up here.
Yeah, and that's an injustice, man. That's where I firmly like disagree with like New York and California, man. I think limiting the liberties of Americans for self-preservation, because really, if you think about it, get all the way down to it, the Second Amendment is about self-preservation against federal government, against threat, against enemies, against someone trying to get into your house.
That's the whole thing. People, what do you need that kind of gun to hunt? Second Amendment had nothing to do with hunting. Second Amendment is about protecting yourself from a tyrannical government. Period. End.
Yeah, that's it. It's actually I remember I studied that in for one of my college courses, and I actually wrote a paper on it because I think I was one of the only Pro 2A guys in the class, and you're talking, there's younger people in the class, and I was like, man, it's what you guys think the 2A space is not that at all. We're framed as freaks, or you love guns more than the safety of others. No. We're not out here, assaulting or terrorizing, communities. This is for if someone tries to come towards us and threaten our liberty, be it our liberty to live, our liberty to move about freely from government. And so, when I wrote that paper, I had to present it, and people were like, oh, and obviously my professor was super liberal, and he was like, I will say this, I don't like how you presented it. He goes, but you articulated it very well, because it's I've never heard it argued the way, it's part of the American dream, right? You come from China, a communist country where they don't have a right to bear arms, to the United States, or you come from the Middle East, or wherever country people migrate from.
Socialist countries.
Not allowed to own
guns.
Be like, I can own a firearm? Yes. 100%. And it's usually like Americans, working Americans, we want to protect ourselves from, the gang members or the criminals or these organizations who are trying to take rights away, so that's
there's actually a pretty good article in this issue of American Outdoor News regarding the red flag laws. Red flag laws, if you suspect me of being irrational, but I have guns, you could call the police and say, I'm intimidated, I'm afraid of that person, he's unstable, and they could come in and confiscate your guns without any cause or provocation. And it don't only violate your Second Amendment right, it affects your Fourth, Fifth, Sixth Amendment, 14th. Your right to a free trial, a speedy trial, the right that you're innocent until proven guilty. it goes on and on. They're just basically stomping all over your constitutional rights with the red flag laws, and people are going along with it.
Have you seen the YouTubers who they're called Second Amendment auditors or
Auditors?
they're the auditors. They go on to like federal government properties with cameras and they're recording and
those dudes are awesome.
They're awesome. Like, hey,
Yeah.
you're violating our constitutional right.
Yeah.
And some of these, and it's not just police officers. It's also, people who are working in these buildings. Like, camera people have a right to record, right? It's part of the Constitution.
Sure.
And so violating any part of the Constitution is violating the entire thing. So it's interesting to see how just in our space we're able to push and create more room for people to say, hey, yeah, come in. You want to own a gun? Come in. Like, you want to protect your house? Come in. Your family, yourself. You work overnight in a shady area? Come in. Like, this is for everybody. It's not just for hunters who live in Montana or Minnesota, right? So really cool.
Yeah.
Things have changed. Changed, and if we don't speak up, we're not going to have it. So,
100%.
Just keep fighting, keep doing what you're doing. I'll keep doing what I'm doing. So we have a two-way section in the magazine. We have something about the Second Amendment every issue, whether it's a governor in New Mexico trying to confiscate your guns, or the new red flag laws, or whatever it is. If it's topical, if it's controversial, I'm on it.
And there's I'm glad you brought that up, because American Outdoors has a two-way section. We were very intentional as far as us serving. We didn't want to just serve the two-way space. That's why we did outdoors as a whole. Because our goal is just to get people outside, like inner city folks. Hey, come outside, come touch the mud, come jump on a gator, come fish, get in the middle of the ocean with us and fish, do these cool things, get outside. But
he's the only one jumping on gators, by the way. I don't do that.
You always see that video of that one idiot.
But the thing is, where we're situated in West Palm Beach is, though we don't have mountains and stuff, you got the Everglades to the west. The ocean is only about 5 to 15 minutes away from wherever you're at here. Lakes, natural wildlife places, fishing. So it's not, like you said, you don't always have to have a gun in your hand. That's cool. We encourage that, but it can also be a fishing pole or a spear or some snorkels. Like, just get them out from from what they see every day. Give them that opportunity is really where it's at.
And because we're so, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, pick up a bow.
That's it.
Archery hunting's a big sport. Target shooting, archery competitions, something. Pick up a slingshot. Pick up an air gun. Air gun hunting becoming big. There's iguana hunting in Florida right now.
Oh, it's huge. It's blowing up.
And you don't need a license for it. It's because they're considered an invasive species. You can just go outside. There's a lake behind my house. I can just go out with a pellet gun and lay as many down as I want. And now they call it chicken of the trees. There's people that are eating the iguanas.
Making iguana stew and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, so
you can eat anything if it's made right.
That's it.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
So just keep an eye out for my upcoming cookbook. It'll be out.
That's what it's called. You can eat anything if it's cooked right.
That's it.
It's a good title.
Yeah, it is. That's awesome.
All right, so what's next for you guys?
It's a great question. We have so on the business side of what we do, our goal is to help brands bridge that gap. But on the storytelling side, because we are a media production house, we want to tell stories that we think are interesting, of people actually living outdoors. And Bethany, right?
Sure.
Yeah, we're working on doing a story with her to highlight her, because she not only checks off all the boxes like minority, woman, mother, but she's actually an outdoors woman, right?
Yeah.
She hunts, she harvests, she cooks what she kills. So we want to tell stories like that where people can look like, she looks like my daughter. So someone like my daughter can look at her and be like, I want to do that, right? And so on like I said, on one side, it's helping brands bridge the gap, but on the other side, it's tell stories. So we have a couple stories in the works right now. Next week, we're actually traveling to Dayton, Ohio. We're covering a range day for a regular gun guy. And he has, listen to this, 300 to 400 blacks, browns, minorities, just minorities as a whole at his two-day event. It's range day, networking, it's education. There's a women's
Seminar,
symposium, I guess. Yeah, and so that's immediately what's next for us. But other than that, just creating content, videos, and helping companies with branding, marketing, and the corporate fun stuff that nobody likes doing. So.
Well, I got a few people to introduce you to that are pretty good stories.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I saw the when was Icky on? Was that your last show?
Icky Woods, yeah, he was on.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. His story, it's amazing to hear his story,
Yeah, and you know what? Really nice dude.
Yeah,
really,
it seems super cool, down to earth, definitely.
A lot of fun, funny guy. He just
that was a good show. That was a great job.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But if there's anything I can do, I'm always here for a reference.
Thank you.
Likewise. Yeah, we love to be a resource wherever we can.
All right. Well, I definitely appreciate you guys coming on. Where can we find you guys? Yeah,
our website is www.apxmntn.com. So Apex Mountain, but we just took out a few of the letters. And then same on Instagram and YouTube, APXMNTN. And yeah, man, if people want to see some cool stories, head on over to our YouTube. And other than that, follow us on our journey.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys taking the time. And if you like the channel, subscribe to the American Outdoor News Podcast, and we'll see you guys again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it.